Lawnfawn video. Today we're going to be working with the Cozy Christmas stamp set, and I'm going to show you a way to make a really fun holiday card that is super fast and easy. So this is more of maybe you could mass produce and send to family members and friends, so that's kind of the idea. This is some Cosmo Cricket paper. This is from the Mitten Weather, this mini deck here. And I'm just covering the back with tape. Some people ask about this. This is the Scotch ATG gun, adhesive transfer gun. And I think it's actually technically a framing supply, but it works really well. I really like it, and it's really easy to use. And even though it seems really big, it's actually not that cumbersome. So I actually really enjoy it, and you can get a lot of tape at one time. I bought a dozen of these. I still haven't even gone through all of it. So so I really like it. And right now I always get tape on the outside. It doesn't matter what kind of adhesive thing I use. That's just what I do. So this is my trick for getting pattern paper on the front of a card when you're trying to cover the whole front. Is I take the corner of my score pile, but you could use any kind of corner, a T-rule, or even like if you got on the floor in the corner of your, by your door, and you just take the card, you push it up in the corner, you make sure, one, that it's open the right way, and then you just take the paper and push it up into that corner also. And you end up covering the whole card. And so, as you can see, I have like a little strip right there, but that's probably because my card cutting wasn't that accurate. So I'm just going to cut that little piece off, and it'll be perfect. So here we are. And now we're ready to start stamping. So this is another piece from the Mitten Weather pack, and I kind of like these greens and these sort of like cool blue color together. So we're going to start some stamping. So I'm just going to move this actual score pile out of the way. And we're going to start here. So I'm going to be using the lights from the set, and I just love them because they're smiling at me. And I'm just going to be inking them up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And so I'm inking up the lights, but I don't want the string on it. So I'm taking a baby wipe and just really easily wiping it just like that. And then I'm going to take this in the center and make sure I stamp right down like that. So you can see we got the lights without the little string, the connector string. So there's that. And the next thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. And I actually put it together already. These are from all the different words in the set. You know, they're all separate. So we have a, warm, and Christmas, cozy, winter, and these are let's be merry and bright. And so I thought that was just kind of a fun sentiment to go along with the lights. So we're just going to stamp that right underneath in a black too. I'm actually going to test it off to the side. I always like doing that to make sure that the letters look straight when you're putting together, sentiments like that. And once again, we're just going to stamp right underneath. And we've got that right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to color these in red. So I'm not doing any kind of fancy shading or anything like that. I'm just coloring them in. And what we're going to do is add some glossy accents on top of that. And it'll add that extra fun shine. Right now this is a garden green, oh no, ocean green. That's such a strange name. I thought this whole time that this was called garden green. It's called ocean green. Anyways, okay, so we're using garden green, which is G28, and I'm just coloring in the tops of the lights. And you can see that how you could do this in a repetitive pattern. Stamp the lights and just keep repeating that, and you could use all these different. You could use all the different papers from this deck. So you could just coordinate the different papers, and the cards would look slightly different. And then you could change the color of the lights to green or red depending on what worked better for your card. So we have that there, and we can see how cute that is, just like that. And I think what I'm going to do, the first thing here is I'm going to round. I think I'm going to round the top corners. I think it'll be a little fun, a little different. So I'm using my corner chomper, and I'm rounding the top with the 1/2 inch round. That's my favorite. I heard there's a 1 inch round punch there. That I would be really interested to try. I'm gonna round the top corners of this card too. Okay, so that's just like that. And so right now I just want to add some fun ribbon. So I measured out this size, and so I'm just going to cut the same amount in this iridescent sparkly twine. I think this is May Arts. The twine I got, don't know the name, but I got it at a store called Paper Tales in San Diego that actually carries lawnfawn. The sparkly iridescent twine I got at Stamp Fever in Orange, California that also carries lawnfawn. So really fun, very stamp-oriented stores, which is a blast. So, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take both of these, put them together like that, and then tie it around the bottom of this card. And so I happen to be the world's slowest bow tire. It is not a skill of mine, and you guys know I always joke about that. So I'm probably going to fast forward here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is pop this up with foam dimension. Now if you're worried about, in the mail and, the bulkiness, you can always just glue it down just flat with flat adhesive. But I wanted to use some foam dimension, so I'm just going to do that real fast. Okay, so we have our foam adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to adhere that down. Oh, a little piece of foam adhesive stuck to my fingers. Okay. Trying to get that even there. Fix that bow. And then the last thing we're going to do is add glossy accents to all the little lights. And the reason I do that at the end is because it does take a while to dry, and so it's kind of the last thing that, that you want to do. So I'm just going to add that in, and it's got a really, this is by Ranger, Glossy Accents is what it looks like, and it's got a really fine tip nozzle, and somehow it never gets clogged up, so I'm always really impressed with it. And I want to pile it on a little bit here because I want it to look like a light, the bulb shape of a light, that bulbous, round shape. So I seem to call things bulbous a lot. I think it's a fun word. But anyway, so you just kind of fill it in and move the glossy accents around until it looks good. And you can do that. I'm just kind of slowly letting some come out, and then I move it around with the nozzle. Okay, so you can see the glossy accents on there and how cool that looks, and it's really quick to do. And if you were doing this, assembly line style, then you just put this one aside to dry, on the table, and you could start kind of adhering and putting together your next one. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the card, and I hope you have a merry and bright day. Talk to you later. Bye.